Well, tomorrow provides us a couple of opportunities. One is, we have a shoot around. So every game you have a shoot around 5 hours before tip off. It gives us an opportunity to have a real shoot around. That sets the tone for performance. Scouting, we won't scout this as much as maybe we'll scout game one, but we have a lot of players who've never been through a scouting report. They don't understand the details that go into it. So we're going to be able to give them a dry run of that. And then, it's the first time that we have our entire team sitting on our own bench. And usually the malcontents or the families of certain players, once that first game happens, you truly get to understand who they are. Because when they lose their mind after the first exhibition game, it's going to be a tough road. And then there's those others that I think you learn the opposite, where they clearly understand where they are in the rotation. Maybe they're a starter, maybe they're not. So I think from a team attitude, chemistry, it gives you a real benchmark of where you're starting at. Each year that's been different for us. We're going to start the players that we would start as if we're playing a real game tomorrow. We're gonna play it like a real game. We're not going to experiment, I think, because that would send the wrong message. I think in the low post, Chance Comanche might be our team's most improved player. Being 220 pounds versus, 210 a year ago is night and day difference. And if you consider that Chance weighed 187 when he arrived on campus, that spring, that's a lot of weight, but it's a lot of good weight. But he's much stronger. It's experience is everything. And, our game, unfortunately, a lot of people don't talk about that now. It's almost like a negative when you say somebody's back for their junior or senior year. But in Chance's case, he's just a young sophomore. But the practices that he went through a year ago, going against Caleb every day, Ryan Anderson, I think he missed maybe one practice all of last year. And if you remember at the end of the year, he started to come on. I played him more. Well, Book has been with me as an assistant coach longer than anybody else. And it's like Chris Rounds and myself being together for 13 years. I don't know if there's a strength coach and a head basketball coach who have a better rapport relationship. And that translates to the kids, the team. And Book has been with me for a decade, so that's a long time, especially when I've only been a head coach for 13 years, right? So 10 of the 13 he's been with me. But he's a great guy. Players love him. I think he's got a bright future. But, I'm fortunate to have a tremendous staff, really am. Joe Pasternak as our associate head coach, Mark Phelps. Both of those guys have been head coaches. And, I call on them, count on them way more than a lot of times it appears. The head coach a lot of times gets credit in recruiting, but the lion's share of the recruiting is done by your staff. And I think that I wouldn't trade my staff for any. So thank you.